I'm Killian, and I'm a personal trainer with a passion for climbing. Today, we're going to use traditional sports science to enhance your average climber athlete. Today, I was working with Caitlin, who is having trouble with a hand-heel crux move on a boulder problem. I had noticed that Caitlin was having trouble properly engaging her hips while attempting the move. I knew there was a series of mobility drills and muscle activations that could help her engage in the right way to get that move. The first thing that we needed to do was to loosen up some of the outer hip muscles that were too tight to properly activate. Here, we're using a standard tennis ball in a figure 4 position on the floor to roll out the piriformis and the other short hip rotators. The second thing we're going to do is to use a medicine ball to roll out the muscles on the inner thigh that will help make it easier to get into the heel hook position. Note how we have Caitlin bring her knee up. It needs to look very, very similar to what the heel hook position is going to look like. Next, we're going to use a mini band on the floor to do clamshell exercises to wake up those outer hip muscles. While performing these clamshells, notice how Caitlin is keeping her top hand behind the hip. That's going to help make sure that her hip can't cheat out of the motion. Here we're getting more specific. In this awkward banded hip lift variation, the feet are together and the knees are driven apart while you lift the hips. This is exactly what your glutes need to do to properly engage in a heel hook. And here we do a single leg version of the awkward hip lift. Your body is going to work in the exact same way, but we make it look a lot more like the actual heel hook move. A pro tip here is to make sure that your body, your torso, and your foot look exactly like they did in the awkward hip lift, except that your knee looks like it's moving away from your midline. Lastly, we're going to see if Caitlin can properly engage a toe turned out heel hook move, not on the training wall, but safely in the training room using the floor and a plyo box. The last pro tip here is to make sure that even though the toe is turned out, everything else feels exactly the same as it did in the previous exercise. This series of exercises was formulated to make sure that climbers know how to isolate and to safely engage and use their glutes and core rather than putting undue pressure on their knee while performing heel hooks. This is both injury prevention and performance enhancement at the same time. Thank you.